Hello, Holly and Collin, checking in with our 2018 Dancing with the Rogue Valley Stars champions. What's going on, you guys?
Woo-woo.
Hello.
Hello, I'm actually here in Denver, Colorado. I've had a little life change in the past year, but as you can see, I'm still supporting Black Rock Coffee.
Yay. Checking in from Black Rock. I got some Black Rock drink right here too. So, woo! Yeah.
Like our Black Rock.
Holly, yeah, you mentioned, so you have had a bit of a life change, and I think that our valley collectively actually sensed a loss in some point, in some measure, when you left, because you're just so involved, such a light to our community, and now you're a light to a Denver, Colorado community. So when did you move, and what's that been like?
As you can imagine, it's been challenging, but I moved out here in October, was back in over a year ago, was back and forth for the holidays, but I moved downtown Denver January 2nd. And then obviously, as you can imagine, given the current circumstances in the world we're living in, it's been a little crazy. It's been phenomenal, but a way bigger challenge than I ever expected. But I still have a lot of roots in Southern Oregon. I still work for road disposal. So my company is still back there in Oregon, and I'm still involved in a couple nonprofits, including this one. Happy to be back and supporting. And then I'm still actively involved in the Storytelling Guild as well. So I've kept my roots there. I am doing my best to get involved. I joined some nonprofits here, but it's just been kind of on hold with everything going on. So hopefully in the near future, I can get involved here as well.
My guess is that it took you about 1.5 hours to get involved with a nonprofit in your new community.
It did. I mean, I literally, yeah.
So Collin, you are like a consummate performer. You love to perform on stage, and how hard has it been this past year? You probably haven't got to do that very much because of the pandemic and everything. So what have you been doing?
Oh, it's been terrible. Yes. Yeah. One show that I was going to do in the spring got postponed because literally we had like everything ready to go, and about 2 weeks before everything got shut down, I was like, wow. But been filling in with what I can, spending more time with my family, with friends, ones that are, when we got everything quarantined out there. I actually did get a chance to participate in a semi-show. We just finished last night, actually. Just kind of like a sneak preview of some upcoming shows for next year, written by 2 local authors. So that was pretty exciting.
Wow, that's cool to hear, man. I have to say, so how exciting was it? So you guys, like I said, you competed in 2018. Holly, you had been in the show before. It was your second appearance as a star. Collin, you had never been in the show before. You come in as a partner for the first time, and you and Holly take the championship trophy. I mean, what was that like, dude? You're first on the scene, and boom, you're a winner the first time out. How cool is that?
I mean, that was such a blessing and a privilege. And I mean, just tagging on to what you're saying earlier about Holly, I mean, a lot of it was really her, because she was always like, when are we practicing next? And, we were going at it pretty hard, and it ended up working out like that.
Holly, how different were your first and second appearances in Dancing with the Stars? So
my gosh,
first year you were in it was 2015, right?
Around there, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course 2018. So about 3 years, and you did different dances completely.
Yep.
You did a fast-paced one, and then when you guys did Viennese waltz. So
yeah.
How different was that?
Well, and the first time I also, for those of you, we had a choreographer, so we had instructors. So I went into the first year thinking, oh my God, I got this. The dance matched my energy. It was high energy. It was fun. I didn't have to wear a ballroom dress. I was on cloud 9. That was phenomenal. It was Holly. I felt like it was me. It embodied my energy and everything. And when I got the Viennese waltz, I was like, oh my gosh, okay. I am either going to make a fool of myself or we're going to win it. It's one extreme or the other. And I did tell Collin, I was like, we're practicing every day, because, I mean, you can ask Collin. My body did not look elegant. There was nothing. But I also knew that if we could pull off the Viennese waltz, we'd win. And so it was amazing. I would say it was not a Holly dance for sure. Until that night, I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this. And it was phenomenal. So complete, like everything about it was complete opposite. Like, I mean, Collin came into this like with no instruction, like experience. And he just like took it head on and was willing to get guidance. And I think that helped us, that both of us acknowledge that we were like, we're going to have to put a lot of time and work into this. Like he had the dance skills, which is phenomenal. And I didn't. And then we were just willing to get help and the resources we need. And it all came together. Like it was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I think it's for anybody watching who doesn't know some of the behind the scenes with Dancing with the Red Light Stars, I think it's very important to note that our stars don't get to come in and choose, oh, I want to do this or that dance. They're kind of on pins and needles, like, what's my dance going to be? And, you know, like your reaction, like, what? Oh my goodness, what we're.
Oh, I panicked. Yeah.
I think a lot of people have, and I think the cool thing about that is it's drawing you out of your comfort zone. It's, you know, you dove right into it, and what an incredible performance it ends up being. Just a testament of the hard work you guys put in.
I remember specifically a couple text conversations with you, Holly, after it. And the first one, you're like, Matt, you gave me the one dance that I did not. Kidding me? Like, I want a shot at winning this thing. Like, you were a little bit, I think, upset at me. And I'm like, Holly, it's not fate. We didn't play favorites. It's the way it matched up. You know, you're going to do great. And then I remember about halfway through, I think you guys were struggling with some stuff. And I was like, oh, no, like, I'm actually feeling bad for them. And then you texted me out of the blue, and you're like, we're back in the game. We got it. And that was like the Holly that I knew right there. I'm like, oh, if she's saying that, then I think they got this.
Well, you know? and on the other end of that, not only are you putting all of your energy into learning a new dance that you're scared, you are behind the scenes fundraising like no other person has ever fundraised. Can we ask you, what was your total again on that fundraising?
I mean, you guys would know better than me. I'm pretty sure. I think I broke 30, didn't I? But that 1 year? For that year, though.
Yeah, right? For the year, it was 34. Over 34, which is the record amount for any individual, not only with Dancing with the Stars, but any individual within Sparrow Clubs, 4 Sparrow Clubs. Region. Yeah, I mean, you have that record for most money raised by an individual. And the crazy thing is, in 2015, when you competed, you also won the fundraising award for that year. And so then 2018 comes around, you're like, I'm going to add to it. I'm going to win again. And you just blew us away. I think altogether, you're responsible for raising well over $40,000 for Sparrow Clubs. And,
that's like a testament to our community. You guys, well, I still call that home. So we live in a phenomenal community, and people support the work that you guys are doing. And it just requires an ask, and sharing your story and your passion. But I just believe that we live, especially now moving into a bigger community, you would feel like the support would be exponentially larger. And it's just not the same. Like, there's something truly, truly unique about Southern Oregon. And I say that every time I do a fundraising, which is why I'm here today. Like, I am so happy to support this. But I'll tell you, I went into that year, like, I kind of felt like, what's the right word? Like, people are going to be coming after me. Like, this girl gets a second chance. Oh, no. And I was like, okay, I'll just meet my minimum. We'll do our dance and we'll be good. And then I was like, no. Holly doesn't do that. And there was a point. I mean, poor Collin and we were struggling. And I thought there was a point. I'm sure Collin can remember some of the practices. And we had Mara Lee coming in, and I had my wrong foot going. And I was like, oh, my gosh. And poor Collin saw me and Holly. I was like, I can't do this, And then it clicked, and it was like, oh, okay, we can do this. And then the fundraising started rolling, and I was like, okay, in true Holly fashion, like, I'm in. I didn't commit to this to not be all in. So,
well, you went all in.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that you mentioned Mara Lee. Mara Lee is behind the scenes. We would not be where we are without and so many other names. So, we always want to make sure that people understand this is not, 2 people putting on this production. This is a massive force, a committee, volunteers, all the way down to people staying after the show and reloading the cars back up. And we are so grateful. You couldn't have said it better. Southern Oregon it just is full of people with the largest hearts that I've ever experienced.
I think back on how many people in our community have been a part of the show. I think it's over 120 people, and I remember everyone. And we get the cream of the crop from our community, stars and partners alike. I mean, we just get people with the biggest hearts, the biggest personalities, the most fun, and it's really made our show unique, something that our valley looks forward to, and something that's a real treat for people, especially when they haven't seen it before. They walk away going, I'm never missing that again. I'm going back year after year because it's so entertaining. And you guys just bring that. You bring that. And I think some people, when they first sign on, they're like, yeah, I'm going to do this for Sparrow Clubs, but they get into it. You see that switch, that shift happen about midway through, and people are like, no, I'm going to rock this. I'm going to get competitive. Yeah, we're doing this for Sparrow Clubs. I want to dance well. And the partners bring that out of our stars. It's so fun to watch. Collin, let me ask you, did you have any idea when you were standing there at the end, the line of people were getting ready to announce the results? Did you think, from a partner performer standpoint, did you think you guys had it?
I knew that we had put as much work as we both could. I mean, it's funny, like, the Viennese is the dance that I wanted to dance. I know Holly wasn't super interested in it, but I was like, I want to do the Viennese. Yeah. Because it's such a lovely dance. And I knew that we had both put our absolute best into it. We practiced for hours upon hours, and at that moment, it was really just up to the judges. And so I felt pretty confident. Not that we would win, but I felt confident because we had done our absolute best. And then the win came. I was like, oh, wow.
I'll never forget the look on both faces. It was the Holly night. Holly Roberts.
You probably developed some good bicep muscles holding all of your hardware. You had so many trophies. Yeah.
I'm pretty certain I heard your mom screaming from the audience quite a bit. She might have lost her voice.
Okay, you guys, this is like a full confession of mine. Like, probably hands down one of the best moments. Like, probably top 10 moments in my life. Like, I watch that video all the time, and this is so funny. Like, I'm gonna be really vulnerable right now, but if I'm like on a date and what's something you've done that's so amazing, I just whip out my video, and they're like, okay, that's weird, and they're like Viennese waltzing. But my favorite part is like I can hear my mom and my dad whistling in the front row, and I'm like, but it's funny because I just remember, rehearsal, Collin and I had a few mess ups, and he's like, we got this, Holly, we got this. And afternoon performance was good, and there was still one thing we couldn't get right. And actually, Don Kanoki was like, Holly, you got to do this, like your steps off. I was like, oh, it was just like one little spin. It wasn't even a big deal. And like Collin would have never noticed it because he's spinning, and I just couldn't get it. And Don just told me, and I was like, light bulb went off, right? But at the end, I go down on my knees, and I just remember Collin and I looking at each other like, we did it. Like, if we didn't win, it doesn't matter because that was by far our best performance, and like, but to see my friends and family and Collin's family, it was just like, oh my gosh. Cause you could just kind of you could spot him in the crowd. Right. And it was like, oh my God, it was so amazing. Like, I still get chills just thinking about it.
Well, it helps. You had half the auditorium there to see you. I mean, so yeah, when you were on that stage, the lights are shining. You can see maybe the first 2 rows. Other than that, it's like dark.
And those were our peeps. And like to have for me personally, have my family down there meant the world, and to have their support. And as most people know, my parents are huge supporters of Sparrow Club as well. And it's really through Dancing with the Stars that they got introduced to that. And they are continuous supporters of the organization. So it's pretty amazing.
And Collin, you have a really big family. Were they all there for the performance?
My immediate family was there. Yeah. And then a lot of my cousins were there. I don't remember exactly who. Then that was a little bit of a blur after the results. I was like, oh wow, okay. But yeah, my family is very, very supportive of all of my performances. And it's amazing having them there.
They even came to some of our practices too.
Yeah, they did.
Between your fans, Holly, and your fans, Collin, and your family, that might have eaten up all of our tickets. It might have been all the people in the audience. No, I'm just kidding. Such a support structure, and I know just from experience, when you feel that feedback and support from the crowd, it just fills you with just the right kind of adrenaline, and it just, man, it's like walking on air. It's it really powers you through. So such an incredible feeling, and I could see you guys feeling that and feeding off of it.
Well, that's why we had to, for the audience, because I was so afraid. Like when I did last time, the audience got into it. They knew it's not, because it was a high beat, high energy dance. I was like, I don't want awkward silence during the Viennese waltz. Like, I don't want like the golf clap.
Yeah.
Like, we need whistling and hooting and hollering to get us through this thing, you know?
It's funny because through the history of Dancing with the Stars, the first 4 or 5 years, nobody wanted a slow dance because the only dances that won were the fast dances. And so you'd give somebody a slow dance and they'd be like all down in the mouth, like, we don't have a chance. That's completely changed. And the Viennese waltz has actually, we've had teams win with it, I think 3 times now. And so it's really had that shift in, now everybody wants a Viennese waltz. And we're like, no. All dances can win. It comes down to the performers. And so it's really helped destroy that stigma of only one particular dance can win it. It really comes down to the dedication of the performers, and it proved the point.
Well, I know this will tap into that competitive nature for Holly. And we are doing things a little different this year because we can't meet live, obviously. So we are doing a text to vote. I'll let you explain a little bit better, but
Yeah, we can't sell tickets. So we, and the goal of this whole thing is to raise money for Sparrow Clubs, especially during this pandemic. We're still adopting sparrows. We're still working with schools. We've completely transitioned our program to work within the current environment. And we're committed to impacting students and helping families financially and emotionally. Like, compassion cannot be stopped. And we're seeing that and we're proving that. It's amazing, the people that are working with us to that end. So to raise money for Sparrow, we are asking the community to vote with us. Text RV Stars 41444 using their smartphones. And when they make a donation to Sparrow Clubs, they're able to attach that donation to the team of their favorite team of their choosing. So basically, dollars equal votes. So what would you guys like to say to encourage people, to persuade people, maybe to beg people to vote for you? And Holly, I know it's a big thing because you've won the 2 years you've been in it. You've won the fundraising award, and I know you want to do this again. So what would your plead your case to people to vote for you guys?
You want me to go first, Collin?
Yeah, sure.
I want you to go.
Okay, I will go first because here's the deal. I think now more than ever, we all see the need for supporting our local nonprofits. It's been a challenging year for everybody across the board, but the work you're doing isn't stopping. So now more than ever, we need to make a contribution. And I'm going to be honest, I got some friends of mine in this show that I am not going to let take me down. So this will be fun. You guys, I think it's important. Every dollar counts, right? Like, every dollar counts. Whenever you can give right now, I think now during this pandemic and in light of everything that Southern Oregon's facing, I think every dollar just goes even that much further. And so if you're somebody who has been blessed throughout these challenging times and you have a little extra to give as we roll into the holiday season, I just encourage you now more than ever to just give and make that impact right in your home community.
Yeah, no, I just, with the way things have been this year, I mean, again, we could all use a little bit of love and sharing in our lives. And I think this year, more than anything, exemplifies that. And we just need to be there for one another as human beings. And this is one of the greatest nonprofits that I've ever, if not the best, that I've ever encountered. And it's such an amazing mission and changing lives.
Thank you for those words, man. It's such an honor to work for an organization that people feel that way about.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. So let's keep in touch. Thank you guys for taking a little time out of your day to connect with us and reminisce a little bit. It's been fun.
It's so good to see you guys.
Yes, thanks again.
You too. Thank you, guys.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Yeah,
Thanks. Bye.
Day, bye.